One of the most feared creatures in the world is the snake. Snakes are reptiles with no wings and limbs. The slender cylindrical body starts with a head and ends with a tapering tail. There are at least 3,400 types of snakes recorded by zoologists across the world. Among them, only 600 are venomous, but all are carnivorous. It can live on land or in water considering the species. Some snakes can do both. Some inject their venom and kill their prey before eating them. Some attack viciously and maim the prey, strangulate and eat them. Let us find out more information about snakes in detail. Classification of snakes. Snakes originated from terrestrial lizards in the Middle Jurassic era, 174.1 to 163.5 million years back. The oldest discovered snake fossil dates back to 167 million years. The scientific name of a snake is determined based on the characteristics and other factors. Snakes fall under the suborder Serpentes, which is why they are commonly called serpents. As mentioned earlier, they are reptiles but with no wings and limbs. All they have is a slender elongated cylindrical body and a tail. This species falls under the same order Squamata of lizards. Hence, the classification of a lizard represents a snake. Due to the evolutionary process, the snakes have lost their limbs and developed various physiological features. They have undergone simplification and structural reduction. They have also increased a special feature and lost some. Remember that not all limbless reptiles are snakes. There are burrowing lizards that also have lost their limbs due to evolution. The only difference between such lizards and snakes is that the former have eyelids. Snakes do not have eyelids and tend to give a deadly stare. One of the interesting snake characteristics is that it has lost its urinary bladder. Due to its slender body and cylindrical shape, all the organs are elongated and sleek. In fact, the left organs are greatly reduced in comparison to the right organs. Characteristics of snakes. As mentioned earlier, snakes are reptiles with no limbs. Some of the species have vestigial traces of hind limbs that show the perfect evidence of evolution. It tells us that they evolved from limbed lizards back in the Jurassic era. The snake characteristics also tell us that they have horny scales all over the body. The scales and skin are well clasped. They shed their skin a few times a year. A shed skin shows the configuration of the scales perfectly. On the other hand, the number of vertebral discs has increased. It also has developed an organ that secretes venom. It also has developed the tracheal lung as a breathing system. Another remarkable feature of snakes is that the organs are not oriented bilaterally, rather they are placed side by side. The jaws of the snakes are not fixed but are loose so that they can gobble prey larger than their head. The bones in the head also support gobbling prey. The teeth are backwards curved and are fused with the head bones. They do not have any ears, as well as movable eyelids. It means that snakes are unable to receive any sound waves. It can perceive sound waves of frequency ranging from 100 Hz to 700 Hz with its skull bones. It has a remarkable chemosensory organ developed on the roof of its mouth that receives chemical stimuli from the bifurcated tongue. You will observe that the tongue comes out, lashes a few times, and then enter the mouth to provide the chemosensory information gathered. These are the snake characteristics that distinguish it from the other reptiles. Snakes do not have any vocal cord or larynx to produce sounds, but they can hiss. Movement of snakes. Different types of snakes move in different ways. As per the zoologists, there are 4 kinds of movements found in the serpentine family. Serpentine method. This is the way a snake moves generally on land. They are limbless and use their muscles to bend and unbend their bodies to create a serpentine motion we are familiar with. You will be surprised that they use the scales present in the lower part of the longitudinal body that touches the ground. In this type of movement, snakes will not overcome any hurdle, rather try to push off the way and keep going. This is how many types of snakes move on land. Concertina method. This is quite an unconventional movement style when it comes to snakes. It might not be the best way to move in an open space to catch prey or evade predators, but is very useful for moving in tight spaces. In this method, a snake holds the back portion tight while extending the front portion using the back as a pivot. The front portion is then straightened to pull the UN braced back portion forward. Side winding. This is also a difficult way to move in open grounds, but very effective when the surface is slippery or loose. You might have seen this movement among snakes in the desert areas. They do not move forward, rather make a diagonal displacement by bending and unbending their bodies. The movement method depends on where snakes live. This motion is ideal for snakes living in muddy areas, swamps, and deserts.